obviously you compare him to President Biden, who was muddling his way through speeches. People know he couldn't go more than
better, right?
Yep, couldn't go more than 15 minutes. She's very good on the prompter. No one even doubted that. She had 3,000 people there. Why are they there? A lot of them have to do with, hey, I'm a Democrat. I thought we were going to go down in flames. Now we have a shot. But the problem with Kamala Harris, number one, she has not had her record exploited heavily because people thought and marginalized her. Even in the Democratic Party, they said, man, what a bad choice Joe Biden made. Number two is she hasn't sat down for an interview. When she sits down in an interview and says, do you want to fund ICE? Where do you stand on Medicare for all? Why didn't you show up? The most recent decision, already you got a question. She will not show up for the Prime Minister's joint session of Congress today. She'd rather address in the summer a sorority, a college sorority, like she can't get out of that. So that's her decision, and that's her decision to back up the protesters.
And how about the border? When they ask her about the border, I haven't been to Europe either. Remember, she said that she's the border czar. She didn't go to the president. She didn't go to the border, and now we're learning that two of the border chiefs, the last two border chiefs, she hasn't talked to.
If you watch the video, to say colored is one thing. You pronounce college totally different. You can't get the two confused. Colored, college, that's what it sounds like. Listen to Kilmeade.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about our first race hoax of the Kamala Harris campaign era that we knew was coming, okay? Because the left, they just can't help themselves, right? They really want to make this race about everything except policy, okay? They want to make it about identity politics, racism, white man evil, Republicans racist, they hate black women. This is what they're doing, okay? And they have to just make stuff up at this point because there's not nearly enough supply of the so-called racism for them to have legitimate claims, right? This is why they have to boohoo, whine, and cry racism when Republicans tell the truth about Kamala Harris, which is that she is a DEI hire. Also saying that a black woman is incompetent is racist. Apparently talking about colored sororities is racist, even though you didn't really say colored sororities. But because, again, these people are looking and listening for racism, this is what they heard, okay? Because black liberals are upset, right? They're melting down, okay? In fake outrage, fake tears over Brian Kilmeade on Fox News talking about Kamala Harris holding a campaign rally in which he was criticizing Kamala for skipping out on some priorities that he felt were more important for somebody like her and deciding to go to college sorority events. But it kind of sounded like he said colored, even though when you actually listen to it, he really actually said college. But again, that did not stop the race hustlers of America, people like Roland Martin and Rashard Ritchie and the black liberal women, from boohoo, whining, and crying on social media, crying racism.
Full racism again. That's all they got. They don't have anything else. All right, let's go. Brian Kilmeade, who decided to speak on colored sororities. Here it is.
The problem with Kamala Harris, number one, she has not had her record exploited heavily because people thought and marginalized her. Even in the Democratic Party, they said, man, what a bad choice Joe Biden made. Number two is she hasn't sat down for an interview. When she sits down in an interview and says, do you want to fund ICE? Where do you stand on Medicare for all? Why didn't you show up? The most recent decision, already you got a question. She will not show up for the Prime Minister's joint session of Congress today. She'd rather address in the summer a sorority, a college sorority.
A college sorority. A college sorority.
Like she can't get out of that. So that's her decision. And that's her decision to back up the protesters.
This man said colored sorority. You see what's happening, don't you? He's on regular ass TV. Colored sorority.
Baby, y'all, I look a mess because I got to working out, but this must have said, baby, y'all are cooked this November. Y'all couldn't wait to be racist. Y'all, it's been less than 48 hours since she's been announced that she's going to be basically on the ticket for the representative Democratic Party for the president. Baby, y'all, Fox News was like, I don't understand why Vice President Harris couldn't go to Biddy's Congress hearing, but instead she went to that colored sorority meeting. I don't get it. I don't colored. Colored. That's why we rolling with colored. Colored. You know it's bad when your own party is telling you you're being too racist. The party that has racist tropes all the time is telling you you're being too racist. And to calm down on that DEI talk and the misogynistic talk because it ain't looking good for y'all. Y'all are cooked in November.
So as a member of said colored sorority, I had to make a video because I find it hilarious that Fox wanted to give us attention, which is great. Just letting you guys know, black fraternities and black sororities, it's not like white fraternities and white sororities in college. Like, it's not like something you join for 4 years and it's over. There are people who do that. However, there is a lifelong commitment when it comes to joining these institutions.
A college sorority, like she can't get out of that. College sorority, a college.
They are shook. They are shook, as they should be. The AKAs, we're coming for you. Gonna wipe the floor with his ass.
Yeah, so there's just so much to say about this, but honestly, guys, this is all they got, right? This is what we're going to be dealing with for the next 3 to 4 months. But the good thing is that if this is all they have, right, this is what they're doing, then, hey, you know what? That is good for us, right? Because this is one of the fakest scandals I've ever seen in my life. I think clearly when you slow down the footage, as I did in the video doing Rashard Ritchie's reaction, he did not say colored. He said college. But even if he said colored, so what? What's the difference between saying colored sorority and sorority of color, right? Would it have been better? Would it have been politically correct to say Kamala Harris, instead of doing her job as vice president, as somebody looking to be commander-in-chief, she's hanging out with sororities of color, right? Would that have been less racist? Okay, I'm just trying to make it make sense, okay? Because these are the same people who use the term people of color all the time, okay? But apparently if you say colored people, that's racist, okay? That's racist to say colored people, but to say people of color is not racist, right? As if there's a difference. There is no difference. There's no difference. It's just one of these games from the left in which they are trying to police language and say that, well, you can't say this, even though we're effectively saying the same thing. But if you say it, it's racist, okay? Because we just simply don't want you to be able to say it that way. That's it. That's all this is. It's the same trick they pull with DEI, right? They can freely come out here and talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion as if it's a positive thing. But when Republicans start talking about it, oh no, all of a sudden it's racist, right? It's racist to say that Kamala's DEI. But when Joe Biden says Kamala's DEI, oh, well, that's a great thing, okay? It's a great thing when Joe Biden says that Kamala Harris is DEI, and it's a terrible racist thing when Republicans agree with Joe Biden, right? That's the world that we're living in, okay? Just like it's okay when the mainstream media talks about demographic change and how that's supposed to be so great because you have a declining white population and an increasing population of so-called people of color. But when the right or Fox News talks about demographic change, oh, well, that's racist. Now, all of a sudden, you're talking about replacement theory, right? All of a sudden, you're into conspiracy land, except with Democrats talk about it all the time. I think folks, again, are fed up with this, right? I really do think if this is what they're going to make the 2024 election about, if this is what they're going to do, these fake race hoaxes where they quite literally are listing for racism, right? Racism that's not there. And then they want to throw a fake outrage over it. Yeah, I don't think that this is going to help them out, right? And it's just funny because for as much as these people want to talk about Republicans calling Kamala Harris DEI is going to hurt Republicans with black people and so-called people of color, they said the same thing about the border, right? Republicans being tough on the border is going to hurt Republicans with Latinos and Hispanics, except support amongst black people and Hispanics for Republicans is at basically an all-time high, right? Since the civil rights movement. Again, there's no evidence to back up their claim that Republicans telling the truth is going to hurt them with so-called minorities. But I think there's plenty of evidence to show that all this race hustling, all of this extreme identity politics, these fake race hoaxes, I think the American people are sick and tired of this, right? They're sick and tired of people boohoo, whining, and crying and trying to police language and all of the hypocrisy coming from the left. Again, especially when it comes to this race conversation, because you have the head of the DNC getting on board with this fake race hoax, okay? This guy, Jamie Harrison, he says, quote, a colored sorority in 2024 on national television, this clown thought it was correct and appropriate to use the term colored to describe a distinguished and historic African-American sorority. That's also going to be the most annoying part about this is, again, these people trying to get these these fraternities and sororities involved, okay? And again, you know, these people, they get real sensitive when it comes to their little gang, okay? But what makes it even worse, a black man sat a few feet away on that couch and didn't correct him. He was as quiet as a church mouse. Folks, be prepared for the racism and misogyny, but let's put them on notice. America is now unburdened and we ain't going back. So again, all of these people are going along with this because they have nothing, right? Notice how none of these people are addressing any of the policies that Brian Kilmeade was bringing up, right? Any of the substance that he was bringing up. Notice how they're not talking about that at all, okay? Why are they not talking about that? It's because what he said was spot on. And they can't dispute anything that he actually said, right? And they don't want to actually talk about that. So what they do in order to distract is that, again, they make up some fake claim of racism, right? In the middle of what was a great point, right? From Brian Kilmeade. But because it's fake outrage over something he didn't even say, by the way, okay? He didn't even say it. You know, hey, a lot of people are going to miss the point, unfortunately, okay? But again, this is what they want to do. This is done on purpose, okay? Lawrence Jones has responded because he's getting a lot of backlash because a lot of these guys are saying, well, Lawrence Jones, he's black and he sat there and listened to Brian Kilmeade say that and he didn't check Brian Kilmeade, right? As if even if Brian Kilmeade had said colored sororities, why would Lawrence Jones check him on that? Because again, I'm still trying to figure out what would be the difference between a sorority of color, which the left, logically speaking, should agree that that is the correct term, and color sorority, right? But let's say he said black sorority. These people would still be upset. They'd be like, oh, Brian Kilmeade, a white man is attacking a black sorority. Oh my God, it's so racist. These people are so openly racist and hostile towards so-called black women. This is what they be saying. So again, it's really damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? So again, Lawrence Jones here is responding. He says, I'm the black man. You're so damn dishonest. He said college, but that's all you have. You know, the bullshit that you advocate for only brings death, poverty, and destruction to our black communities. You are welcome on the show anytime to debate it, me and you. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he will not be taking that up. Okay, he will not be doing that at all. Yeah, so here's the thing, guys. This is honestly a great thing. It really is. When the left is this desperate, you know that they have nothing, right? And if this is what they're going to make the 2024 election about, I really do think that we're going to see a backlash and revolt against it at a level that we've never seen before. I really do think that people are fed up with race politics. They're fed up with identity politics. They're fed up with being accused of bigotry and hate simply for disagreeing with anybody that is a so-called person of color. I really do believe that we will see an anti-Kamala, anti-DEI, anti-identity politics vote come out in 2024 in massive numbers if this is what the left wants to make the 2024 election about, right? They really want to make it a referendum on identity politics because they do not have anything else to stand on besides that, right? They can't stand on the economy. They can't stand on the border. They can't stand on crime. They can't stand on any of these major issues that are going to cost them the election. So this is what they do. The Trump campaign and Republicans are already unleashing ad after ad after ad, essentially exposing Kamala Harris, taking far left stances on core issues that the American people most certainly are never going to agree with. So she can't even stand on that, right? She can't even go back to that. The only thing that she could possibly stand on is locking up a bunch of black folks. And I don't think that helps you with the left, right? I don't think Kamala being a prosecutor or running on her record as a prosecutor is going to help her with the far left. Again, that's the irony here, okay? That's the irony. So, hey, this is what you have to do when you have nothing. So it's a great thing, guys. Let's celebrate it. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.